So this will show you pretty well your standard requirements. Now we're about to finish the deck. You'll need a pot and a brush to get into the hard corners. We've got a lamb's wool applicator. Now the interesting thing about when you use Cutek, they never dry out or go hard, so you actually keep them specifically for this job. We've put a new one on for this example, but it's a lamb's wool applicator with a big trough, Cutek oil with a tint, bucket and brush for small areas. First step is to cut in. Always use a brush to cut in. An applicator will get it on areas that you don't want it, so just take your time, a bit like painting. Cut it into your hard areas and then you do your bigger areas with the applicator.
Unlike other finishes, you can cut the whole border, then use the applicator in the middle. You don't have to worry about the wet edge leaving a mark.
Right, that's a terrific point, because this is a penetrating oil and it's not going on like a lacquer.
That's right.
I think this is the important thing about the selection of Cutek. It's actually a penetrating oil. It will take a little bit longer to penetrate and dry, and that'll depend on the timber you're putting it on. But this dry merbau, it should take up pretty quick. It's really interesting, you won't get any cutting lines. As one has said, you can put all your perimeter boards in and then come back and you won't see any joining marks. The interesting thing about cutting in is just go a moderate coat. It'll preferably with Cutek oil, thin is best, even if you have two thin coats rather than one heavy coat. Just for coverage, you're probably looking at about 15 square meters per litre, and that'll vary depending on the timber, the age, whether it's new or second. This is obviously an older deck, 8 years old since it's had any oil or protection on it, so it might even reduce a little bit under that. But every job is a bit different, and only use the coverage recommendations as a guide, not as accurate. It's a noticeable addition to information, and this is you want to make sure the wood is dry. It's not the end of the world if there's a little bit of moisture, but it will slow up the drying process or the penetrating process a lot. So perfect application applied to a dry deck like this is, and hopefully you've got a gap behind it that it's not going to rain on it, but that also won't spoil it. It will just slow it down a little bit as well. So now we're going to do the main area, just 3 boards at a time. Spread it out evenly. You can see the applicator spreads it beautifully. Having the right tools for the job is a bit of a motto of DeckMax. We like to put as trade tips or just recommended tools for the trade. As you can see, it goes on very easily. Having the bigger bin is one thing, but you can work with any size reservoir. So you skim it over the surface and then brush it back on itself. That just keeps your coats a little bit thinner and certainly not too thick. What you want to look for, you don't want to have any ponding on the surface. Okay, we've worked our way through across there. This is a single coat application, and now we're going to work our way back to the door and finish this section. As you can see, the cut in areas and the work around it. So after one coat, this is going to give you a darker look than when it will dry out, but it gives you a beautiful look on how to convert a timber deck, in particular after you've used DeckMax fixings with no nails and screws in the surface. After 9 years of no coatings, no protection, no nothing, we've now rejuvenated the deck in 2 sessions. We actually cleaned it, gurneyed it, let it dry, sand and oil.